Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today our group will be presenting about our research proposal on the topic of the current application of gold dinar in Malaysia. Next, we will be introducing our group members, consists of 5 members, starting from the first person Muhammad Afiq Aiman bin Ahmad Nazri, and the second members is Muhammad Farid Rushaidi bin Lut, and the third member, which is me, Syed Umay bin Syed Ahmad Al-Junaid, and the fourth member is Muhammad Ajwad bin Muhammad Anwar, and the fifth member is Muhammad Ashraf bin Razman. For the table of content, we will starting by the introduction of our research proposal. The second one is the literature review of our research proposal. And the third one is the problem statement. And the fourth one is the research questions, following up by the research objectives. And also the next one is the research significance. And we will be presenting about the methodology for our research, which is by sampling technique and also the instrumentation. And the last one will be concluding about our research proposal.
Introduction. In Malaysia, the application of the gold dinar currency has gained attention and sparked discussion in recent years. The concept of reintroducing the gold dinar as a means of exchange aligns with the country's Islamic principles and aims to promote economic stability, independence, and fairness. The proponents of the gold dinar in Malaysia argue that it can be address issues related to inflation, currency volatility, and economic exploitation. The suggestion to implement the gold dinar in currency in Malaysia is often linked to the efforts of Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. As a prominent figure in Malaysian politics, Dr. Mahathir has been vocal advocate for the adoption of the gold dinar, emphasizing its potential to unite Muslim countries and strengthen their economic ties. According to Dr. Mahathir, the stability of the gold dinar values over time makes it an attractive alternative to fiat currencies. This includes providing a stable store of value, reducing dependency on fiat currencies susceptible to inflation and market fluctuation, and promoting economic justice and fairness in financial transactions.
Next chapter is literature review. This literature review, I take 3 main article, which is the first article established in 2002. As a result, prior to the dinar becoming widely acknowledged as a trading currency, Malaysia is initially attempting to establish the dinar system among a restricted group of nations. For the second article, according to the study result, a key finding is that trust has a statistically significant and practical impact on whether a new currency, in this case the gold dinar, is adopted because of their faith in their state government as the issuing authority. The users of the gold dinar in Kelantan may have adopted it more voluntary. Creating such as clear connection might obscure the importance of the various mediating variables that drive the acceptance of the gold dinar. This article is 2012. And the last one of the article, the expansion and development of the gold dinars uses over time provide evidence to this study of the Malaysian community growing acceptance of the gold dinar, while also bringing the effort to reinstate the supremacy of the gold dinar as a currency to fruition. This article is from Yaakob 2012.
From the problem statement, which is the current implementation of the gold dinar in Malaysia faces a number of challenges that prevent it from being effectively. These challenges include a lack of awareness and comprehension among businesses, financial institutions, and the general public. Regulatory challenges in terms of compatibility with this society monetary policies and lack of ecosystem that is supportive of its widespread adoption.
Research question. Question number 1. What is the level of awareness and understanding of the gold dinar among the general public in Malaysia? Question number 2. What are the challenges and limitations in terms of accessibility and availability of gold dinar coins or digital equivalents in Malaysia. Question number 3. What are the potential economic implications of adopting the gold dinar in Malaysia, both in the short term and the long term?
Okay, now we go to the research question. Research question, we have three objectives, which is first is to examine the level of awareness, and second is to determine the economic impact of the gold dinar as a complementary currency in Malaysia, and lastly is to evaluate the regulatory framework and legal consideration.
Research significant. Significant number 1 as an analysis tool for the government regarding to stabilize the economic impact of the Islamic gold dinar as an alternative. Significant number 2 as an indicator for current conventional investors to expand their portfolio into the Islamic gold dinar investment. Significant number 3 to enabling students to analyze and comprehend this research as a reference article that related to application of the Islamic gold dinar currency.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Farid Ushadi bin Lut. So, let us move on to the next section, which is methodology. So, for the methodology of our research, in this research, we will use two different methods in order to gather the information. First, we plan to conduct a one-on-one interview with industry expert or individual knowledgeable in Islamic finance to gather the qualitative data. Also, we will try to convince them to participate as resource person for this research. Secondly, for quantitative data, we will perform a survey or maybe questionnaire in order to collect the numerical data on various aspects related to the application of the gold and dinar. Next, I will talk about the sampling technique for this research. Firstly, the sampling theory. The sampling theory for our research, we will use the simple random sampling for the quantitative method, which is need us to utilizing surveys or questionnaire to ensure equal chances of selecting each population member. Meanwhile, for the qualitative method, we will try to employ purposive sampling that can make us to selecting participant based on specific criteria related to their expertise, knowledge, or involvement in the gold and dinar aspect. Next, we will go through to the population and sample size. For this research, we will try to focus on the general public in the Shah Alam area for the questionnaire, aiming for a minimum of 100 respondents. We will try to distribute the questionnaire, which is in the form of Google Form, to as many residents as possible. Additionally, we will select a maximum of 3 experienced Islamic finance experts or practitioners who have worked in the industry for over 10 years to be our respondent for the gold dinars application aspect, which will be conducted in a one-on-one interview. Lastly, we will move on to the inclusion and exclusion criteria. The inclusion criteria for this research are the 100 respondents from the general public in the Shah Alam area, and 3 experts from Islamic finance field with a strong educational background and over 10 years of experience. For the exclusion criteria, non-Malaysian citizens will be excluded from participating, as well as individual or parties that are lacking relevance to the gold dinar application. Additionally, any incomplete or unethical data that is obtained from the questionnaire will also be excluded to ensure the authenticity and reliability of this research.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sayyid Umayyah Ahmad Al-Junaid, and I will be presenting about the data collection sources for our research proposal. The first data comes from the primary data, and the second one is, of course, will be coming from the secondary data. So there will be 2 sources of data. The first one is primary data, which comes from the questionnaires, which is to collect information about the background of the respondents. and the level of awareness and knowledge among the respondents about gold dinar in Malaysia. And it will be in the form of closed-ended questions, and the questionnaires will be distributed through online Google form, which will be in the set of questions in 3 parts, and it is related to the topic and also the objectives of the research study. And so for the secondary data, which will come from the interview sessions with 3 persons chosen with the background of Islamic finance, and it will be conducted in structured interview, which is will be there are set of questions, formal set of questions posed for each interviewee, and will be recorded, and the questions are related to the topic and also the third objective for our research proposal. Next, we move on to the data analysis, where all the data derived from the primary data, which is the questionnaire data, will be analyzed through descriptive analysis, and it will be using statistical analysis to create an understandable picture for an easier picture of data of the collected data. And the collected data will be categorized for the hypothesis of each question sets accordingly to the topic and each parts of the research objectives. And by creating hypothesis for each part, which consists of 3 parts for the questionnaire through the Google form, then comes a positive or negative hypothesis through structural equation modeling (SEM) in the form of Amos fitting data program. The data collected from the interview session will be used to draw a conclusion of the economic impact of gold dinar and the current regulatory considerations for the application of gold dinar in Malaysia.
For the conclusions, the concept of using gold as a medium of exchange is at the heart of Islamic finance, which is where the idea of the gold dinar originated as a potential form of a currency. This concept has been the focus of the majority of this conversation and innovative. Proponent of the gold dinar content that it complies with the Islamic rules that govern the exchange of money, and Malaysia is home to a well-established business that is based on Islamic finance. The gold dinar has not yet been recognized as the official currency of Malaysia by the country's central government, and the Malaysian ringgit (MYR) is still the country's official currency, and it is the currency that is most commonly used for all types of transaction in this country.